You have an invention idea, and you're probably asking yourself, what next? Today, I'm going to walk you through the most updated, efficient, and tech-savvy way to bring a new product to the market in the AI era. Let's get started. 4 years ago, I had a product idea, and I took a lot of bad advice from YouTube. I eventually found inventing success with my product, and then I made it my mission to help others do the same. I started the Invent With Me podcast, where I've interviewed scores of successful inventors as well as other thought leaders in the space. You can watch or listen anytime for free. Now here's the truth. Most videos out there are either put on by attorneys or people trying to sell you a $4,800 course. The other half of videos out there are put on by people who practice an abundance of caution, leaving you feel deflated and scared to even start the journey. Not to mention, no one's even giving examples or case studies. Not to worry, I'm gonna actually walk you through the inventing process of a real product the market has not yet seen, so stay tuned. You're gonna wanna see this. In 2023, I had an idea for a nozzle to better help applying spray foam. The first step was to check Amazon and Google to see if anybody was selling this or something similar. They were not. At this point, there was basically no reason to see if a patent existed around the idea. If it did, no one was using it, so I could just buy it out for a few $1,000s. And say there is an expired patent or prior art, that just means it's open source at this point, and I'm free to dominate the market with a better strategy. You may be saying to yourself, wait, you have to do a patent search. Why? What would that change? There's no product on the market. There's a gap that needs to be filled, pun intended. Even if later I find out that my grumpy neighbor who hates my guts somehow held the patent for this the entire time, he's not doing squat with it, which means it's a business I could buy outright for less than the cost of the patent itself. Or I'll offer him 2.5% royalties, and in 3 years when I redesign the thing anyway, I'll butt him out of the deal. Okay, cool. So our idea is clear. Next, it's time to prototype the nozzle. After all, no one is doing this. I don't know how foam is going to react to trying to be formed, because if you've ever used that stuff, it is literally devil's blood. I hopped on the Invent With Me Discord chat and I hit up engineer Lance. We agreed to work together for 3 months, of which I paid him $600 per month to be at my beck and call. No brainer. Within a day, Lance had the concept 3D printed, and he had even shot a video of the product in use. The concept actually worked pretty well for a first round prototype, so I gave myself the go ahead to start hitting up manufacturers and price this thing out to see if we could afford it. I got on my phone and searched for plastic manufacturers on Alibaba in Ningbo because, I've been to Ningbo before and it felt familiar. I found a guy named Rick who sent me a really nice video of the factory floor, which I liked because they made the molds on one side of the factory and did the assembly and injection on the other side. Everything being in-house, that's a lot less cost to me, and it's a lot less risk of quality issues. Word to the wise, know where your molds come from. Don't ever let somebody play middleman on that for you. They will price gouge. Rick started to ask me a bunch of questions about product molding and porting and venting, stuff that sounded like Greek to me. Rather than risking sounding like a newbie, I apprised ChatGPT of what I was doing, who I was talking to, and the questions he had. In real time, I was able to tie it back and tell Rick exactly what type of mold metal material I wanted and how to vent it. I sounded like a pro. Rick quoted me $1,900 for the mold and 11 cents a pop for the nozzles. Now, I forgot one thing. I forgot about shipping, so I jumped back into the Invent With Me Discord and I hit up Jake, who told me that this would be 2 or 3 pallets and you could probably get it done for under $1,400. The total for these products landed to my door was under $6,000 for 25,000 nozzles. That's 24 cents per nozzle, and once the mold is paid off, future orders, that's 16 cents per nozzle. I can sell those nozzles for $3 a pop all day long. That being said, next was figuring out price and market strategy. Turning 24 cents into $3 is a great margin, but it's a hard sell. Let me explain why. If I'm going to sell these online and offer free shipping via Amazon FBA, there's really no shipping service cheap enough to justify shipping a $3 item. Pay attention on Amazon. Rarely is something ever under $6. So now you're saying, okay, then price it at $6. Well, that's too much money. It's just a plastic nozzle. On top of that, we're going to have hundreds, if not thousands of people on our website and Amazon listing shopping per day. I'd rather have 30 people spend $30 than 100 people spend $3. The choice was clear. It would be a 12-pack for $29.95. After Amazon fulfillment fees and 20% pay-per-click ads, that would be a net profit margin of 80%. Not gross, net. Now, it was go time. I had Lance work on more iterations until the nozzle worked not only at an A+ level, but was sleek, stackable, and felt good in the hand. Now, before we go further, full disclosure, this is where I stopped. Why? Because I already had a successful invention. One thing I've learned on this journey is that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. My spare time is spent on the Invent With Me podcast and on the Discord channel and community I've built of aspiring inventors and thought leaders. If you want to be part of this exclusive community that is truly amazing, just join my Patreon. You even have the opportunity to have 60-minute consultations with me. And a little bit about me, I brought a simple idea in my garage to a 7-figure brand in 3 years. You can spend tens of thousands of dollars on this journey and waste years off the back of bad advice. For $6 a month, I'll personally make sure you nail this experience and make a better life for you and your family. Back to the story. Now listen, everything from this point on is fictional, but not theory. I use this exact model on my flagship product, TorqueStrap, which is a multi-million-dollar company. So listen up. I worked out a marketing strategy to aggregate a list of medium-sized influencers who would happily shoot a video in exchange for some product. I opened up a Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube account so that I could claim my name of the foam former across all channels. I made a napkin agreement to give Lance 15% of the company in exchange for all his engineering services and for him to handle customer service in perpetuity. Now, I no longer owed him the $600 per month, which freed up cash. We placed the initial order for $6,000, which was split based on our ownership percentages. In that moment, we not only invested in our future, but we both put skin in the game. While we waited 90 days for the shipment, I bought a domain name for $15 a year, and I opened up a Shopify store for $29 a month. I spent every spare minute at my day job YouTubing how to sell, sales funnels, how to market, and how to get a product to as many people as possible. Lance took it upon himself to go ahead and 3D print via a print farm about 100 units so he could ship them to me and I could start shooting high engaging vertical videos. Lance also designed a simple cardboard backer packaging design, which we sent to Kurt on the Discord channel, and he got to work right away, and for $300 we had our packaging designed with artwork. Lance then sent the manufacturer the packaging design as well as specific instructions for stacking and packing 12 foam formers. In the final month, I opened up an Amazon store and made my listings, using photos of the 3D printed nozzles until I had the actual products. I set up all my weights, dimensions, and other details which the manufacturer provided to me via chat. I was fully educated on Amazon FBA at this time, and I knew exactly how to ship my first case to the fulfillment centers. The inventory finally landed at my driveway, and I immediately inspected it so that I could ship inventory to Amazon. About 5% of the product was bad from debris or warpage during molding, but that was expected. While waiting the 30 days for the product to populate the Amazon warehouses, I sent the product to a bunch of influencers as well as shot more content myself vertically for the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube channels. I also started taking product photos to the best of my ability with my iPhone, which I could later maybe send off to a graphic designer to build out beautiful infographics for Amazon that could compete with the other listings. I filed off my own provisional patent for under $150, and that gave me a year to decide how I wanted to protect it going forward. I also filed a trademark, which gave me brand recognition on Amazon and even more protection from knockoffs or people trying to stomp on my territory. I then got on the Discord and I found Alfonso and asked him if he wanted to work with me, and he was more than happy to professionally manage my Amazon account for a 4% commission. This not only freed up my time, but Alfonso took the initiative to make me killer product images that were highly competitive on Amazon. Now my time was free to focus on marketing, legacy, outreach, and long-term goals. That's the job of a CEO. Not pushing pencils. With an active and well-running Shopify store, we then took our best organic posts from social media and then put money behind them with a meta ad strategy. On the Discord, we talked to Sergio, who hooked us up and started running our ads on Facebook, Instagram, and Google, which quickly brought us to about 50 orders a day. Half the people bought from our website, and the other half of people wandered over to Amazon. In that respect, we had a perfect 50-50 split between Amazon and Shopify. Now that's important because if one ever goes down, your cash tap does not turn off. From there, we took the cash flow and we started paying ourselves a salary. We were on track to turn our $6,000 investment into $62,000 in the first quarter of sales. We then placed a larger order and we were able to end our year with gross sales number of a little over $200,000. Based on our insane 80% net profit margin, our accountant gave us a modest business valuation of $500,000. In just a year, we created an e-commerce business that was essentially a cash printing machine. We didn't ask for any handouts, and we certainly didn't try to license the idea to some no-vision company who could never sell the product as good as we could. Over the years, Lance developed more products. We increased our AOV with upsells and bundles. We picked up small independent retailers to purchase in bulk, and we were hitting sales numbers in the millions in less time than it takes to get an associate's degree. That, my friends, is how you invent products and bring them to market in 2025 and beyond. Join the Patreon to be part of the conversation and listen to the podcast for insane tips, stories, and inspiration. Because remember, I took the punches so that you don't have to. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on the next one.